All right, this is the last part of Kevin's show work on PR11w, questions 34 to 44. Start off with number 34. Which choice most effectively combines the sentences at the underlined portion? Okay, first thing that you'll notice about this sentence is that it says choreography and choreography. Anytime you have two nouns like that are like together and they're separated because they're two separate sentences, you can actually combine it with a relative pronoun phrase. Right? Here, the correct answer is B. Okay, that is the relative pronoun phrase. Okay, A could work, but it's too long. So always go with the shorter if you have two of the similar relative pronoun phrase or any answers, similar answers. 35. A fight soon broke up amidst the spectators. The orchestra was pelted with vegetables thrown by outrage, and the police were also called to restore order. So this makes it sound like a fight was happening, right? Not broke up means to end. This does not sound like the fight ended. So broke out is the way you say something started, right? Broke up is the way you say something ended. So we can get rid of brought up, broke up. Okay. And now it's between among and between. Among is more than two. The between is just two. Okay? More than two. And here, if it's a fight between, the orchestra and spectators, you expect more than two. So here, C. Which choice best establishes the main idea of the paragraph? And we talked about this when it's the first sentence, right? We're going to look at the second sentence. And it says, it may have been the dissonant nature of Stravinsky's music with his, crazy music, right? So dissonant nature. Dissonant is talking about lacking harmony, unusual, clashing. How do we know this? It says it's right here, purposely awkward, ungraceful, changing rhythms, jarring percussion. Okay? Now, what did all this do? It upset some viewers. So the main idea has to show that how this dissonant nature upset some viewers. If we look at all the answer choices, we see that A is correct. It's what caused the audience of The Rite of Spring to react so strongly. How did they react so strongly? They fought, right? Vegetables were thrown, etc. But what is may, right? And right before a comma. Because this is underlined, this is probably wrong. Here, this is the verb. Theme may also have upset some viewers, right? So everything that's here, okay, is going to be some kind of modifier describing the theme. So the theme of the ballet, right, that's describing what the theme is going to be about, then itself was a pagan, right? So here, 37 is actually D, right? The theme of the ballet itself, comma, okay? A pagan ritual, right? That's what the ballet and the theme was. Does that make sense? 38. The negative reception was summed up by a review. Okay, for this one, it has in a review in Le Figaro, that proclaimed. When you use that, right, this is the relative pronoun, but remember that never gets commas, okay? That never gets commas. So here, there's a comma. That's wrong, right? We can also see in D, there's a comma here. That's wrong. Also, when you introduce a quote like this, there must be a comma. There's no comma here, so that's wrong, right? So now we're stuck with B or C, okay? And I think we talked about it before, but there is no commas for prepositions either. So C is the correct answer. Remember, that gets no commas, right? Quotes get commas, okay? Prepositions, again, no commas. All right, let's go to number 39. Okay, here they are often contradictory and do little to sort of exactly what happened in the theater, yada yada yada, right? It's talking about to sort out here. You don't sort of exactly, right? You sort out what happened. Does that make sense? So here, B is the answer. And you don't for sort out, right? Right, so you can get rid of that. It's either to sort of or to sort out. And there is no sort of in this sense. That fits with what happened. Number 40. Okay. On the other hand, okay, this is again, it's a transition. So we're going to look before, okay, and we're going to look after, right? And here it says descriptions of the level of disruption and violence increase as the accounts get further away from actual event. It's likely that the stories of the riots have gotten exaggerated over time, right? It's been increased and exaggerated. These are similar ideas. Okay, so here if we read all the answer choices, in other words, okay, this is expressing something similar or a summary. D is the correct answer. Number 41, the writer wants to add supporting detail, okay, to explain the different views of the traditionalists and the modernists. Which choice best accomplishes this goal? All right, so here we're going to read this and figure out who the traditionalists and modernists are, right? There was impassioned debate in Paris in the early years of the 20th century between the traditionalists and modernists that was exemplified by the debate over the Eiffel Tower. Modernists saw it as a mark of progress, while traditionalists saw it as a monstrosity. So Eiffel Tower, the modernists, they liked it, possibly, right? And traditionalists, they did not like it. Okay? We're trying to explain the different views, right? So one, progress, the other, monstrosity. This explains the different views pretty well, right? If we read B though, let's just, for the sake of argument, let's just read B. Still going on today, The Rites of Spring remains a controversial piece of music in many circles. Does this talk about traditional or modernist? None. It just says many. Whereas here it talks about modernist, traditionalists. Okay. Not limited to music, people also argued over visual arts, architecture, and literature. This is too general, right? No detail. It's asking for detail, so we can get rid of that. 42. Diaghilev likely caused members of both groups that believed that others would react strongly to the rite of spring. Okay, so this person caused members of both groups, what did he cause? Them to believe that others would react strongly, right? To believe. Okay. Right, cause to believe. 43. From such charged expectations, it is not surprising that controversy arose. Here, which choice most effectively signals the result? the author mentions was expected, right? We have to know that it was expected. Okay. If it's expected, it cannot be surprising, right? Not unsurprising. This is like a weird double negative, but we can get rid of those and become surprising. So A is wrong. Surprising is wrong. Not unsurprising means not surprising. I mean, not surprising is not surprising, right? So here, this is what is expected. Okay. Unusual is also surprising. Okay, to make this paragraph most logical, sentence 5 should be placed. And if we look at sentence 5, it begins with Serge Diaghilev, the founder of the Ballet Russes, was a savvy entrepreneur, yada, yada, yada. So here, we can tell that it's introducing Serge. Okay? So we need to find a place where maybe they talk about or refer to Serge as a he or just by his surname. Okay, and if we look at the other sentences here, sentence 4, they refer to him by his last name. Okay, first time we ever meet someone in a passage, they must show the first and last name. Here, it's just the last name, which tells me that this has to come in front or before this part. Okay, so the correct answer here is D. Oh, no, wait. I messed up there. That's my fault. Hold on. So we know that it has to come before 4. Okay? But there's some other trick here. Or is there? Ah, yes. So it says he way up here. Okay? I misread my notes. So it says he way up here. Okay, and like I said, it either has to say he or the surname, right? So it either has to come before 4, okay, or before this he. Who is this he? It's Sergey. So it has to actually come on at letter B, right, where it says before 2. D here, this is the trick. And even explaining this, I almost got tricked myself, even when I had my own notes. So be careful.